Hi everybody, it's Mrs. Craves. Today we're going to be talking about whether or not the answers to our word problems make sense. Everybody is so scared of word problems, and my goal is to give you a lot of different strategies and methods to help you feel a little bit better about when you do word problems. So one of the things that I really want you to get thinking about is whether or not your answer makes sense. And the way that we determine whether or not the answer makes sense is we answer the question in a sentence. And so many of my students give me such a hard time. They're like, I don't want to write a sentence. This isn't English. We're not doing this. I'm not writing a sentence. But I'm not doing it to make you miserable. I am doing it so that you can get in the habit of checking your answer and having a better chance of getting something done correctly. So when we look at the word problem and we write down an answer, we move on to the next problem. We just want to keep going, right? We just like either plug it into our calculator or do our math work and we just get it and we move on. But let's take a look at this example that I have here. So it says there are 600 kids in the school and 50 classrooms to put the students in. How many students can fit in each classroom? So I didn't show you my work, doesn't really matter. I set up my problem, I worked out the math, and I got 0.08333. Okay, so does it make sense that my answer is 0.08333? Well, one thing I do, and you're going to do too, is write my question as a sentence. So that's my answer. I should probably change that to write my answer as a sentence. So by restating the question in my response, I would write this. The question asked, how many students can fit in the classroom? So I say each classroom can fit 0.08333 students. Well, as I write that, I realize this makes no sense. So I always say bells and whistles and alarms should be going off as what in the world is 0.08333 students? You know, this doesn't make any sense because it isn't real. How do we have that much of a student? That's like a fraction, right? Or a decimal, like we can't do that. So I need to look back at my work and see if I can find my error. So I go ahead, I look back at my work, and I realize I divided incorrectly. So I fix my work, and I get an answer of 12. So I rewrite it now in that sentence, or just erase the decimal that I had there. So my new final answer is each classroom can fit 12 students. That's a much more reasonable answer, right? 12 students makes sense. Definitely not the 0.0833 students. So I might still not be correct with my 12 students, but I know for sure that the 0.0833 students was not correct. So at least I have a better shot with this 12 students than I do with the other one. So you're going to try. Let me work through an example problem with you of what you're going to do on your assignment, and then after you watch this video, there's going to be a link to the assignment for you. So for each of the problems below / on the other PDF that I'm going to give you, I want you to write the given answer in a sentence that answers the question to the word problem. Then tell me if it's reasonable or if it makes no sense and why, and then once completed, you're going to upload it to the Dropbox. So here's how you're going to be graded. You're going to get 1 point for just writing the given answer in a sentence. That's all. That's 1 point right there. Awesome. You can do that. And then 1 point for telling me if it makes sense or no, like yes, makes sense, or no, it does not. And then 1 point for saying why it makes sense or why it does not. Like if I would have gotten 12 for that problem, you would have said, yeah, 12 makes sense. I can have 12 students. That's perfect. So here's an example. The Arcadia Middle School cafeteria goes through a lot of regular and crunchy peanut butter. Currently, they have a total of 382 ounces of peanut butter in stock. If they have 310 ounces of crunchy peanut butter, how many ounces of regular peanut butter do they have? Okay, so the answer given here is 500,000. So my first step is to write that in a sentence. So if the question is saying, how many ounces of regular peanut butter do they have? I'm going to restate it. The middle school has, with my answer, 500,000 ounces of regular peanut butter. Does this make sense? And I'm going to say no. Now, is it possible to have 500,000 ounces of peanut butter? Possible. Is it probable for the middle school cafeteria to have 500,000? Not so much. And if I just kind of look at the problem, it says a total of this, and that part of it is 310, so I can kind of guess that the rest, or the leftover subtraction problem here, so it should be smaller. So that's why I wrote down the answer does not make sense. It seems way too big for the given problem, which is subtraction. Okay, so obviously you can't click on this video to get your PDF, it's right underneath. So you're gonna print that out, and you can either write your answers on the paper as you've printed it out, or if you just wanna write it in your notebook, that's fine too, and then you can take a scan photo with that as well and then put it to the Dropbox. All right, good luck.